Good morning, heart failure. Great to see you all again last Thursday. I hope you've chewed over what Sarah was saying. It's an interesting story, all of that, and really, and it's going to get bigger, isn't it? It is going to get bigger. Already, people from the 60s and 70s where surgical techniques were a bit more primitive, they're going to be showing up. But as more and more kids went through those procedures, and as less and less of them died as a result of their cardiac abnormalities, you are going to start seeing them, and it's as well that you know what to do, or where they should go, or what the dilemmas are even in looking after people like that, because there must be some really there must be some heart-rending stuff going on down there. People who can't get insurance to go abroad when you're young and have babies and all that stuff. But certainly, so I kind of see you lot, don't I, on a regular basis, and so that will account, to an extent, for the relative quietness of the discussion boards. Now, as for my other correspondents over there in Saudi Arabia, I can't really understand you lot being so quiet. Shirley, Delphine, Rachel. I would have thought that you'd have all been keen as mustard to put stuff on the discussion board, but you've all gone very quiet. You see, I see the others. That's the thing. I see the others, so I know what they think because they tell me face to face in class. So therefore, I don't really mind so much if these students don't engage with me online. I see them after all. But for you lot out there in the Middle East, I need to know what you're thinking about. So start putting stuff up, and we'll say no more about it. Right, what have I got? So looking at my register to see who's logging in, I see that you are a pretty good group at logging in. I like that. We've got one person hasn't logged on for 10 days, I can see, and that's the big heart of Pauline, who's away on holiday, and everything's forgiven to a person who's away on holiday. Have a good time, Pauline. Because there's hard work when you get back. So, what I've put up for you this week, and it's kind of out of line with the rest of the stuff, really. I've put up a paper that I came across. I think it was published in 2011, maybe 2012, and it's to do with patients in heart failure who drop their sodium levels too fast, or rather, they drop their sodium levels dramatically, and what happens to them. And this is a meta-analysis that we're talking about. I think it was done by the Cochrane people. And I'd be interested to know what your opinions are on this paper, because it strikes me as being groundbreaking, certainly in terms of the advice that's offered to people. And when you think that, I think we were saying this a couple of weeks ago, when you think that the advice surrounding the heart failure is more or less the opposite of what was advocated years ago. What was advocated years ago was don't do much exercise and don't take beta blockers. That was the advice people used to get. And now that's been more or less, hasn't it, turned on its head. And I wonder if this paper doesn't point to another instance of this in heart failure management, and that's to do with sodium. So I've put it up there. I only thought about it the other day, but you take a look at it and see what you think. Good on. Yeah, I'm starting to hear good ideas. That was good. You see, Delphine and Shirley and Rachel, when we were in class last week, I made all the students who showed up face to face tell me what it was that they were planning to write for their essays, and some of their thinking about their essays is pretty well developed. So the pressure's on you. I hope you've now thought of an essay that you can write. But talk is cheap. You know, it's putting pen to paper that really is the key issue in all of this. So for those of you who are the subject, start settling down and starting to write something. Writing is the key thing. There's nothing else. Writing is the key thing. Start writing your essay now, get it out the way quick, and then you can concentrate on polishing the thing until you can see your face in it. Nothing on the discussion boards, I think I've mentioned that. Right, one last thing. We will be going back to an older form of electronic submission this time, and it's called Turnitin. It will be in the module assessment button there on the left hand side of your screen. Now I'm going to say this first of all now, and I'm going to keep repeating it. Do not cut and paste or copy someone's words and put it into your essays, because our software will show us where it's come from, when it came from, what date the journal was published, even if it's your own work. You are not allowed to use the words even of yourself from another course. It's not allowed. And the software will tell us, and it's brutal, if more than 6 or 7 words have been lifted from another source, we'll know that it's been lifted, when it was lifted, and it will give us the original context from which you took your clip. Don't even think about it. I will get to know. Yeah? Put everything in your own words. Otherwise, you will end up in trouble. You know, I had a group once where 20% ended up in really serious trouble because they just cut and pasted. They cut and pasted a load of stuff into their work. And it doesn't matter if you put the name of the author after it. You should not use their words unless it's within inverted commas, clearly. So, don't even think about it. But do think about getting writing. Right, do I need to say anything else? I don't believe I do. You know where I am, everyone. And for those of you who are in the UK, I'll see you on Thursday.